everyone, this is Esateys. I am very excited to be with you here this morning because we're going to speak about something called the box you live in. In fact, the name of this particular video is How to Expand the Box You Live In. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what do you mean the box I live in? We grow up with certain parameters that create us living life in a certain way. We are born into a family or wherever it is that we're born into, and we start to have input from those sources that tell us what life's about. We're a blank slate, and we start hearing from our parents or from whomever it is that's raising us what life is like. So it's not just what the outer world is doing, which has a big impact on us. It's what we're actually fed on a daily basis. And when we do that, we start hearing what our parents think, what others think, and we think that's the world. And the world of limitations that we live in is actually the world that is made up and constructed from these kinds of beliefs, programs, and concepts that we were given as we were growing up. Now, as I said, it comes from our parents, and that's a very, very big input. But then as we get a little older, what we do is we notice that we have the experience of TV, of the internet, of all of the media sources that we are constantly in touch with. Well, say nothing of the brothers, the sisters, the relatives, the friends, the schoolmates. All of these people have their own little belief systems and programs and ideas that they grew up with, and now we're being inundated with all this stuff. So what we do is we do our very best as a child to really put these in little boxes, if you will, kind of like little file cabinets, belief systems that allow us to feel like we can function in the world. Because if we are not in that space where we are looking at how to feel safe in the world, which is our number one experience and desire, then we are feeling in a total sense of abject terror. Well, the truth is 99.9999% of the world is in really big fear. But terror is a place where you feel like you're in a free fall. Have any of you ever felt like you were in a free fall, like all of a sudden your head got scrambled and all your belief systems seem to be shaken and you don't know what's next and you don't know what to believe and you don't know who you are and you don't know where you're going? I felt like that a lot, actually. And the more I've been on the path of self-awareness, self-development, and becoming more connected to myself and teaching this, the more that has occurred. So it's been pretty interesting and pretty powerful, actually, to really be in a place where I am aware of what's going on and what it is that I choose to believe and how it is that I choose to move on with my life. So one of the things that I would like to suggest to you is have awareness of what your box is. What that means is, where's your line in the sand? Where is your experience of your beliefs? Someone says something. Well, I'll take myself. I am introducing some thoughts that some of you have never even heard of before. Others of you, it's like, been there, done that. So either one of those circumstances. So let's just say you've never heard this before and it's kind of a little bit radical. Well, I don't believe that. That stresses me because I don't want to believe I'm responsible for my life. And the other part might be, well, I've heard this, been there, done that. And where have you shut it off? But the question to ask yourself is, how much of the principles of life that bring you joy are you living? Because the moment you think you know everything is the moment you recognize you know nothing. And every day is a day where we get to look at our experience of how confident we are with our life, but we look even deeper and see how, this is a tough word, so take a breath, how arrogant do we feel about knowing it all? Because we know it all because we want to always be right. So it's powerful to have incredible self-awareness. So if you would like to expand the box you live in, then give up your judgments about anything being one way or the other. Start to look at the possibility. What if what she says? What if what he does? What if what is occurring is really awesome, but I haven't been able to see that yet? What if I just entertain the possibility that something else could be happening that's very exciting, that if I just let go and I just allowed myself to be with that, then perhaps I would grow my box. I would see things from a different perspective. I would start to rise up and see things from a more macro view. Wow, how cool would that be? Because the higher your level of awareness is and the bigger viewpoint you have about what's going on in life will give you a sense of freedom. It actually gives you a sense of freedom because you're not attached to these little itsy bitsy teeny weeny, okay, my mind just went polka dot bikini. Some of you know that song. But it's these itsy bitsy teeny weeny things that we get all dramatized about and so upset about and so stressed about. And then we close our box even smaller because we're living in a state of limitation. So I invite you today to be aware of what you're thinking, where your line in the sand is, where it is that you are feeling like you don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to go anymore. I was listening to somebody yesterday and they were asking, they were asked, would you like some feedback? No, I don't want any feedback. Okay, that's cool. Then stick with where it is that you're at. And recognize that when we do that, that we feel threatened, we feel nervous, we come up with reasons to justify that. But the truth is, that is what's occurring, is that we want to hold on to our limitations. So you're going to have increased awareness. And here's something else you can do. Be in a place where you think of something every day, one thing every day, that is going to allow you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. No matter what that is. Maybe it's speaking to someone about what you have a judgment about and you're afraid to speak to them about. Maybe it's something you really want to say to someone, but you've had too much fear to do that. Then stretch into that. Maybe it's doing something or going somewhere that you've never gone before and you just have been kind of holding back. Go do it. Maybe it's about starting a new business. Maybe it's about stretching how much money you would like to make in your life. Maybe it's about connecting with your children in a way you've never connected before. Maybe it's having open, honest communication with the people that are in your life that you would love to. Maybe it's about going out and finding new people to interact with and getting the support that you need for things that you've been trying to do alone and you're struggling with. There are a million trillion things that you can think of that I'll bet would help you stretch a bit. And so you could write a whole list of them and then pick one every day and do that. Because the way you build your self-confidence, the way you build your box to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's beyond where it is that you can see, and you're living in that macro level, you're in the penthouse of life, that's when you start to know new levels of joy. So I invite you to have awareness. Make your list, do something new every day, observe everything, and then just let it go. And don't ever, ever let the fear stop you. Never, ever let the fear stop you. Because when you're willing to step into the unknown, that's when your life and your box really start to go to a new level. If you have any interest in knowing when I'm going to be doing the next retreat, or if you'd like me to come to your area and do a retreat, then please private message me your email address and your message, and I will get back to you, and I'll make sure that you know what's happening, and maybe we can talk about me coming to your area, because I travel all over to do the work that I do. I'm so appreciative of you being here with me, and again, I cannot thank you enough for all of the shares and all of the views that you are doing. And if you're not a friend because somebody forwarded this to you, then friend me so we can get to know each other a little better. I look forward to the next time we get to connect, which will be tomorrow. And until then, make this the most awesome day of your life so far. Feel a hug.